Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Man, that was a good sleep. Wish it could have been longer though. Where are we? Strange. Going out of bed. Gotta get out on the right side of the bed. Weird voice, weird room, weird bed. Many things I don't like. Hey everybody, and welcome to a new LP of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We're gonna go ahead and start right off by getting...
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. The Sheikah slate. One of our most useful tools as we go along this journey. Looks like we were sealed in this room. We got a couple chests here. Chests are nothing new to the Zelda series. Nice pants. Equip weapons. Equip armor. A little tool belt now. Nice shirt. Got some nice pants. Well, not nice pants, not nice shirt, but you get it. Go here.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal. That will show you the way.
Alright, alright. Authenticating. Sheikah slate confirmed. Man, technology is crazy. And you just have to tap things to transfer data. Don't need no data cables or anything.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Here we go, off on our journey. Just gotta exit the cave and follow what the mysterious voice is saying. See what else we gotta do. Don't fall off, don't fall off. No! Oh man, you're so close. Take that view in. You don't get many views like that. This game. Old man. Wow. So, this is my fourth playthrough of this, of Legend of Zelda. Picked up a weapon. So I'm a veteran of this game and other, Zelda games for that matter. It was actually a second take of this LP, because I didn't really like the first take of it. I'd played for a little bit. So anyway, this is much different than other Zeldas. It's not your granddaddy Zelda. It ain't like your Twilight Princesses or your Skyward Swords or any of that. This is its own thing. Third generation of Zelda. Oh crap. And the main thing about this game, a main awesome mechanic, is resource collecting. That's all we gotta do. Well, not all we gotta do. We gotta do something. There's something up with that castle. Got a bunch of... Oops. That's a zoom. There's a... The castle looks pretty ruined. But for now, we just gotta follow the story and look around. Very hands-off game this is. Now, the first time I played this game, I was blown away by everything. I was so jazzed just to have a new Zelda game that the first thing I did was climb this tree here and just brought a smile to my face, because you can't do that in any other Zelda game. Every other Zelda game is so like, not necessarily hand-holdy, but it's very like linear, and you can't just do everything. Ooh, what's this? Baked apple. Nice. I beg your pardon? I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go taking whatever you please. Oh, forgive me. I could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame make for a succulent treat. It is a bit strange seeing another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm just an old fool who lived here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? Where are we? Answering question with a question. That is fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. It always seemed kind of odd to me that he didn't like really peek around the corner there. That temple there, long ago, was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. Hey, that's another game. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. Some might say it's a ghost in a shell. Ha! Oh.
Link.
Yes, that is my name.
Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Hi. So that would be that point right there. Follow the Sheikah slate. First off, this is the map. I love this. The thing I really love about this game is you start off in this area here. It's like, wow, this is a huge area, and you'll see in a little bit that this is a massive area. This is like the size of a normal Zelda game. And then you go out off of the Great Plateau and you explore all of this, and there's just so much to do in this game. It's awesome. Torch. Those are useful. Those are useful until a certain point. Well then, just help yourself to that torch there. And how, may I ask you plan to use it? To set things on fire? That is rather unnerving. Please be cautious with that around any dry grass that might catch fire. You know there are plenty of monsters in this area. That torch would make a good weapon if need be. However, do not just swing it around without purpose. You must face your opponents and lock your sights on them. And he teaches you how to target. Well, but if you're a old Zelda veteran, and you won't have to, you already know how to lock on and everything. A new thing about this game is swan diving. Well, not really. You do that in what's it called? You could do that in Twilight Princess. You can swan dive in that game. Also, jumping is a new mechanic in this game. Now, as an aside, when I first got this broadsword, I was like, oh yeah, I got, that's like the Master Sword there, I got it. But it's, you know, just a rusty broadsword. And we'll see in a little bit how the weapons handle and why there's so many just lying around for you to take. I didn't get that axe, did I? Oh, I didn't. But yeah, there's just so much this game has to offer. And the first time I got a Korok, it actually wasn't that one. It's one later on that we can get. But when I got my first Korok, I thought that they were like special things and that they weren't like all around the entirety of the world. I thought they were just on this, like the little tutorial guys. Yeah, so this game is... I seriously have no words to describe what this game makes me feel. Like what my first experience was with this game. And there it taught you how to throw weapons. Like, my first experience with this game was just the most magical thing I think I've ever experienced in a video game. And like, it's gonna be hard to top that because of all the new stuff, all the great things you can do to this game. Sure, there have probably been other games that have done something similar. Right here I'm just trying to break these barrels without using my weapons, because the weapons do have durability, unlike every other Zelda game. So it's best to try to conserve your weapons. I might not do that so much because it's kind of boring. So I use things. So there are a few weapon types in this game. So there's your I'm gonna say one-handed weapons like your sticks and your torches. There's your two-handed weapons like this woodcutter's axe, and we'll get into some more later on. And there's a few more types of weapons that we have yet to see. Oops. Yeah, you get with these first few enemies you're gonna go against, but you might not go the same way I'm going. That's the beauty of this game. You can go any way you want. But with these first few enemies, you don't really need to apply any tactics or anything. Here is a very useful item to get: the Hylian trousers. That'll actually up our defense quite a bit, and we'll actually be using these throughout the rest of the game, pretty much. Yeah, so barrels and crates and everything, you can see like these things. The barrels I just broke, and there are crates, and then there are metal crates later on. You can break all those, and they'll contain resources, which will be really useful. Also, pots, as any Zelda game is. There's actually a few pots back here where we can get our first arrows. We can get 6 arrows from there, but we don't have a bow yet. That's what I'm really trying to get to in this first little stretch here. This is kind of what I always do when I start up this game. This is kind of the path I took to well, not really the path I took to do the speed run I did with my friend, the race rather that we did. Come on. You can do a backflip, so you can do a flurry rush like that, or a side jump, and there you can hit them a bunch of times. When you break a weapon on an enemy, it actually does considerably more damage than it normally would. So I think it might do like twice as much on the hit when you hit them with it. Oop, wanted the arrow, but whatever. So this is our first bow, Traveler's bow. It actually looks a lot like the hero's bow, so you can take an arrow, draw it. I like the thing about the bows is that they're really useful if you're good at them. Like, each bow has of course a different range and a different amount of stats you can have. It has rather. There's no real upgrading equipment except for a little bit later on. You can do some neat stuff with a certain enemy. If you already know that, then that's good. but I'm gonna show that off because it's a really neat thing that I actually didn't know about my first time playing through. But my friend Lee told me that if you've seen my Super Mario Odyssey Let's Play, you see that Captain Leroy. His name is gamer tag on on Switch. Yeah, this is a neat thing you can do here. Use your environment to your advantage. Always be on the lookout for an opportunity like this to kill enemies without having to waste your weapon durability. Because in this game, weapon durability is a major thing you gotta work out again about. Make sure you have enough weapons to deal with certain situations, whatever it is. Let's see if we can't snipe this guy. Try right up there. Oh! Just in front of him. Yeah, these first bokoblins, these red bokoblins, the easiest variety of them. See, I got the harder shot with one arrow. Now I'm messing up. These guys have terrible aim most of the time. Like, you'd be hard pressed to get hit with one of their arrows early on. Like, I'll show that off in a second. And you can actually, a neat thing about this is you can almost always pick up, well, you can always pick up a weapon that an enemy has been carrying. So even though you do, for some of the bigger enemies, you do waste a lot of weapons and stuff, you can always get like a better weapon as you go along, as long as they have one on them. And we'll be getting into those boss enemies later on, but they're not gonna be showing up anytime soon, so you guys don't have to worry about them. Well, one boss enemy, our first boss enemy, is gonna be showing up in next couple episodes, but for this first one, we're just gonna be dealing with the standard fare bokoblins guys. And that was another example that I didn't say, that you can just use your environment to your advantage. Oops. Here I'm trying to show off another thing here, which I'm gonna show off, is a neat thing you can do with barrels. So if you light a barrel on fire, oh, I'm all out of room. I should get rid of that. Boko clubs, dang. So if you light a barrel on fire and there's something in it that's raw, it'll actually cook it for you, so you don't have to worry. So like, you can put pretty much any resource by open fire, and it'll turn into a cooked variant. So like a baked apple, you put an apple by fire and they'll cook it, just like that. So that's a really neat mechanic. Like, you don't have to necessarily have any special gear to be able to make decent healing items. That's another thing in this game, as opposed to other Zelda games, is that there's no hearts in this game, as in like no floaty hearts that you can get. All there are healing items. And this guy is probably the toughest thing you're gonna get in the very first little stretch of this game, is this bokoblin with the sword and the shield. And I don't know why he has a bow and arrow. He has arrows, but he doesn't have a bow like anywhere near him. Or does he? No, I don't think so. Anyway, this is a traveler's sword, and it's pretty good for this point in the game. Now, a neat thing you can see that I actually didn't really know about, again, until Lee pointed it out to me, is that you see the sparkle by the weapon icon? That indicates how much durability it has, or if it has perfect durability or not. So now, see, the axe doesn't have the sparkle by it, but this traveler sword does. And that's pretty much it as far as that goes. So we're just gonna go ahead and stick our tablet in this. Do what the voice says. This was actually the point on our map. I didn't show off, but like this game at the start is very new player friendly, because it's like a lot of this game is really chill, and although there's no real sense of urgency. Like we'll see coming up here in a few episodes time that the overarching quest has a main thing going on. Like it does have a sense of urgency, but the pace of the game really doesn't have a big sense of urgency. And I'll address that more as we get into the story more. But right now, I'm kind of just talking over this scene of you've seen like pretty much every place in Hyrule. Well, not a few new places. You can see all the towers in the distance rise up too. It's a really cool moment. Yeah, dust ourselves off after that one. In this game, I'm gonna say it. This game is not perfect. It does have some rough edges around it, but overall, this game is a good time, and I'd be hard pressed to find another game that gives me this level of enjoyment. I mean, I've played this game to completion 4 times in the past year and a half. Well, not even year and a half since it came out. And like, even though it's the same story and it's the same world every time, I just can't help but keep getting that same enjoyment.
Try to remember. You have been asleep for the past 100 years.
Wow.
The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
There you go. There's our quest.
Now then, you must hurry, Link. Before it's too late.
I like that music at the end there. It was just a little bit of Zelda's lullaby. So, all that's left to do here is go down the staircase, kind of. That's I was talking about the tree, like at the very beginning of the episode. Oh, there he comes. Sounds like he's constipated. I mean, I would too if I was an old man flying on a hang glider. His tower just like that. And other just like it have erupted across the land. Almost as though a long dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. Do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop the tower? I heard a voice. Well now, voice you say. Do you recognize it? Nope. Well, I did, but Link didn't. Well, that is unfortunate. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle. That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil. But just barely. There it festers, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. I must ask you, courageous one, do you intend to make your way to the castle? In time. Yep. I had a feeling you would say that. Here, on this isolated plateau, you are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death could be more certain or more foolish. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Well, hand it over. Oh, certainly, why not? There's no such thing as a free item in this world, you know? Yes there is. I just picked up 1,000,000 apples. Let's see now. How about I trade it for a bed of treasure that slumbers nearby? I like treasure. Open adventure log. Come, let me show you something. Where are you taking me? Funny thing is, if you talk to him, don't be hasty now, just follow me. While he's trying to walk around. Sneak up behind you. Boo! Those guys look like they're having a good party. Anyway, what were you saying? Do you see that structure there? The one shining with a strange light? It began glowing the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I would think that such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Yeah, that's better. Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Yeah, whatever. So, that's our next main quest thing. Here's another thing. You can, like, if you look around all this world, this entire world, you can see so many resources you can get. For instance, these fish here. If you're good enough, you can actually catch them. Ooh. Now the thing with these fish are slightly easier to catch than other fish you'll come into contact with. But fish can be hard to catch if you're not if you scare them a lot. But you can actually you can trap them along the edge here, or like try to corral them towards a shore, and they'll actually rise up so you can get them. But another thing you can do is, you can see them, you can actually go spear fishing with spears laid around, and also you can use your arrows to grab it. But unfortunately, you don't have like a rope tied to your arrow, so you can't reel him in. You gotta jump in after him. Here's the first instance of a monster chest that we're gonna be dealing with. There we go. Come out in one shot. So in order to get this chest, we're gonna have to kill all the monsters in this area. Ouch. I was trying to spin attack him. There we go. The shield. Very useful to get a bunch of equipment at this time. This game is pretty lenient as far as what you can do with how you play. You don't have to lock onto every enemy, although it does help to have that lock on ability. But the nice thing about this game is you can play whatever way you want. You don't have to play it like a normal Zelda game. You can play it like, you could even play it as Dark Souls if you wanted. Have that kind of thing, but you can't roll. But I don't know. I like to call this the Dark Souls of Zelda because at the beginning you're really weak. You're insanely weak at the very beginning. So it's really easy for you to die, and it's just overall not that good of a time if you're not skilled enough. And at a certain point later on, you will get to the to a point where you can kill a lot of enemies easily after you get your weapons and everything sorted out. But until then, you're just gonna have to deal with what you got. And that's what really kind of appeals to me in this game, is that you start out as kind of a weak guy, kind of. But I mean, like, you start out pretty weak because you don't have enough weapons. But all the weapons you need are in front of you in the world, so you just gotta explore. Come on. Oop. Whew, that was close. Now, if you hadn't noticed, pretty much everything uses stamina besides walking. So if I run, it uses stamina. If I swim, it uses stamina. And if you actually run out of stamina while you're swimming, you'll actually drown and just go back to the piece of land you started out on. So that can be good and bad if you don't want to. If you like jump off a cliff accidentally into water, you can just drown yourself and get back to where you were. But anyway, we are gonna go ahead and end off here, and we're gonna look at this shrine in the next episode and see what this is. See what is up with this. So I'll see you guys next time.